Welcome back to Social Security and You. I'm Mary Beth Franklin. As you've probably figured out by now, there's a lot of surprising rules and exceptions to Social Security. And one of the most surprising is, don't forget the kids. Every year, millions of children collect Social Security benefits. And that's because if their parent is collecting a retirement benefit or a disability benefit, and there is a minor dependent child in the household, that's defined as usually under age 18 or sometimes up to age 19 if still in high school. If mom or dad is getting a Social Security benefit, then the minor dependent child gets one as well. That dependent benefit is worth 50% of the parent's full retirement age benefit. If the parent died, the minor dependent child is entitled to survivor benefits, worth 75% of the parent's benefit. And the dependent children can continue getting these benefits up until age 18 or 19 if they're still in high school. Also, permanently disabled adult children are also entitled to dependent benefits while the parent is alive and after their death, and those benefits continue for the rest of that adult child's life. Now, there is a maximum family limit. You can't have 18 people collecting on dad's benefit. But generally, if you have a spouse and maybe one dependent child or two dependent children and no spouse, they're going to collect the full benefits. I've been talking about how important it is to decide when to claim benefits because it affects the amount you receive. And generally, those decisions are irreversible. But there are two exceptions. Anyone who first claims benefits can change their mind within the first 12 months of receiving Social Security. They can withdraw their application for benefits, but there's a catch. They have to pay back all the benefits they have received. And if someone else was collecting on their record, like a spouse or a child, they have to pay those back too. Now, why would anybody want to do that? It's because it wipes the slate clean as if you've never claimed Social Security. So at a later date, when you're older, you will start at a higher benefit level. Now, there's a second opportunity, but you have to wait until your full retirement age or later to do it. A lot of people don't like the idea of having to pay back benefits, but gee, they wish they could have restarted them and get a bigger benefit later. They can by suspending their benefits. What that means is those nice checks you've been getting every month stop. But now they're going to start earning delayed retirement credits of 8% a year up until age 70. Who should think about doing this? Well, let's say we go back to the husband and wife. The husband's the bigger earner. He decides to collect his retirement benefits early at 62, and they're reduced by 25%. He's fine with that. But it didn't occur to him that if he gets a smaller benefit and he dies first, now his wife's going to get a smaller survivor benefit. The survivor benefit is worth 100% of what the late worker was collecting or entitled to collect at time of death. He gets a smaller benefit, she's going to get a smaller benefit. He might want to think about suspending his benefits. Doesn't have to pay anything back. The math would work like this. His full retirement age benefit is $2,000 a month. He decides to collect early at 62, and he takes a 25% haircut. So he doesn't get $2,000 a month. He gets $1,500 a month. He collects that check every month up until the time he's 66, his full retirement age, and then he suspends his benefits. The benefits stop, but now they're earning 8% a year for 4 years. That's 32%. If I multiply the 75% benefit he was receiving at age 62 times 1.32, it comes out to 99%. He effectively would have restored his full retirement age benefit by age 70. And if he dies first, that's the benefit his surviving spouse would get. So I usually tell the gentleman in the audience that next Valentine's Day, forget the flowers, forget the chocolates, get a really nice card and say, "I'm waiting till 70, you're welcome." Here's another surprise. Did you know that if you wait until after your full retirement age to claim benefits, you may be able to request a lump sum payout of up to 6 months of retroactive benefits? but those benefits couldn't begin before your full retirement age. So here's an example. Your full retirement age is 67. You decide to claim benefits at 68. That's a year after your full retirement age. You have two choices. You could be paid as if you claimed at 68, which would be your full retirement age benefit amount plus 1 year of delayed retirement credit. So that's 108%. And that's the amount you get every month going forward and cost of living adjusted in the future. Or you could say, I'd like 6 months of retroactive benefits paid in a lump sum. And they would give you that chunk of money, but going forward, they would pay you as if you claimed at 67 and a half. You can't double dip and get a delayed retirement credit and a retroactive benefit for the same period of time. Now, it might make sense for some people as they go into retirement. Maybe I want to pay off that mortgage. That lump sum payoff would help. Maybe I want to go on that big vacation we promised ourselves in retirement. That might help. But do keep in mind that if you request this lump sum payout, your income's going to go way up that year, and so are your income taxes. Because one of the other surprises in retirement are your Social Security benefits are taxable. They are based on something called combined income. That's defined as your adjusted gross income, which is everything on your tax return, plus half of your Social Security benefits, plus any tax-exempt interest you earned on investing in municipal bonds. If you add that all together and your combined income is $25,000 or more if you're single, or $32,000 or more if you're married filing jointly, you will pay income taxes on some of your Social Security benefits. Worst case scenario, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits can be taxed at your ordinary tax rate, which might be 12% or 22% or 24%. In addition, although most states exempt Social Security benefits from taxes, some of them do tax your benefits. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Is Social Security going broke? No, it's not. But it does have some long-term financing problems. We keep hearing about the trust funds running dry around 2035. What does that mean? Well, way back in 1983, the last time we had major Social Security reform, Congress did a lot of smart things back then. One of the things it did was looking ahead to the massive baby boomer generation starting to retire around 2010. And they said, let's raise more Social Security tax revenue than we need right now and stockpile it in what we now think of as the Social Security trust funds. Well, for the last 30-something years, those trust funds were growing and growing and growing because we didn't need it. There was enough FICA payroll taxes to pay ongoing Social Security benefits. Around 2010, when the boomers started to retire and we were all recovering from this major financial crisis, Social Security FICA taxes weren't enough to pay those promised benefits. So we started tapping the interest on the trust funds. That was fine for about 10 years. And then around 2021, it wasn't enough. So for the first time, we had to start drawing down on the trust fund reserves, in addition to the FICA taxes, to pay the promised benefits. As we continue to draw down on those trust funds, if Congress does nothing between now and about 2035, the trust funds will run dry, those extra reserves will be gone, but there will still be enough money left from ongoing tax revenues to pay about 80% of promised benefits. Now, you, me, and anybody else in this room will not be satisfied with 80% of promised benefits. And there's lots of things they can do to fix it. But for those people who decided to claim their reduced benefits early, and if we all got a 20% benefit cut, they're just going to get another reduction on top of that. So what's Congress to do about it? You know, this is a political problem, not a math problem. The answers are you either raise taxes, you cut benefits, or you do a little bit of both. In the past, the magic formula is you have to make sure both parties are equally unhappy. Republicans generally hate tax increases. Democrats generally hate budget cuts. So just like in 1983, we'll probably do a little of both. But we have some added challenges this time around. The workforce has changed. We have a lot of gig economy workers. We have a lot of women who take time out of the workforce to be caregivers for their children or elders. There's lots of talk about how we make Social Security benefits more equitable for a 21st century workforce. We also know for lower income workers, Social Security taxes are the biggest tax they pay. We have to make sure that there's a balance between what workers pay in FICA taxes and what future retirees receive. So I don't have any answers. My crystal ball looks a bit like a snow globe at this point, but I am confident Congress will step in to fix it. It might be at the last minute, but I don't think they want to tick off more than 70 million retired voters because everybody knows older people vote in higher numbers than anybody else. So let's wrap up a final word of what hopefully we learned tonight. Social Security is complicated. There are more than 2,700 rules that govern your benefits, and I hope I've been able to, demystify some of them and give you a better understanding of how to choose the right benefit for you. Don't underestimate the value of guaranteed income that is inflation adjusted for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live. Certainly, you should take your health and your other sources of income and your marital status all into consideration when you decide when to claim your Social Security benefits. But for those who can afford to wait, there is a big reward of a huge benefit at the end. And finally, the decision of when to retire and when to claim Social Security benefits are two separate decisions. They don't have to happen at the same time. Just make sure you make the right one for you. So thank you for listening to Social Security and You. I'm Mary Beth Franklin.